Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. One of the fighters that was mentioned as a possible replacement for Dillian White against AJ on Saturday was Otto Wallin of Sweden. And people were saying, oh yeah, he might get the fight and blah, blah, blah. Well, Wallin has been dining out on taking Tyson Fury the distance and badly giving him a very bad cut. But that was some years ago now. In fact, it was in 2019. So we're talking 4 years ago. And since then, he's only had 5 fights. And he's kind of been treading water. In 2020, he fought Travis Kaufman, stopped him in 5 rounds. Dominic Breazeale, he went the distance, beat him on points over 12. I think Kamil Sokolowski was in there, the Polish journeyman who's based in Britain. That was a point to win over 8. Rydell Booker, a point to win over 10. Booker's, got this sort of second career. He came out of prison. He used to be, I think, he used to be a super middleweight, light heavy. Now he's boxing at heavyweight and picking up paychecks. But there's no one on Wallin's resume, apart from possibly Breazeale, who is going to sort of push him up the rankings. And he is quite well ranked. He's in a few of the top 10s. Now he's 32 now. So if he wants to make a go for a world title, or at least get into contention, because getting a title shot's extremely difficult. With Fury won't fight anyone, and Usyk is busy with Dubois, and so the belts are all tied up. But if you want to manoeuvre yourself into a position where you're going to get big fights for big money, for world titles, and build a legacy and make some money, he's got to get his skates on. I mean, 32 is not old for a heavyweight, but he's just been treading water too much. But another man who is, shall we say, forgotten, another forgotten heavyweight, in actual fact, someone who made his name at cruiserweight, is Murat Gasayev. And Gasayev, like Wallin, has been treading water actually since 2018 in the case of Gasayev, because he lost to Alexander Usyk over 12 rounds. And then people thought, well, he's a contender to sort of pick up the belts at cruiserweight. In actual fact, he moved to heavyweight. And since 2018, I mean, 5 years ago, almost to the day, I think it is, possibly a little bit more, he's had 4 fights against totally nondescript opposition. Now, he says he's been injured. Okay, fair enough. He's still only 29. Whether he should be at heavyweight or not, I mean, I think he's followed Usyk. But I don't get it. I mean, he's from Armenia. It's not exactly a hotbed of boxing. Maybe he sees the money at heavyweight. There is no money at cruiserweight. But if he picked up a couple of belts, and I mean, you've got some British cruiserweights on the scene, he could get himself well known over here, perhaps. But he went down the heavyweight route, and it's not worked out for him. 4 fights against totally nondescript opposition. He's won them all. In fact, he's won them all by knockout. But no one cares. Well, the thing about these 2 fighters is that they're actually now due to fight. And that fight is almost, I think Wallin was talking about, he said it's almost signed. He's damn sure it's going to be signed. And that's between Gasayev and Wallin. And that's actually quite an interesting matchup. You've got Gasayev, who's 30 wins and 1 defeat. The defeats on points to Usyk. 23 knockouts in his 30 wins. And you've got Wallin, 25 wins, 1 defeat to Fury, 14 KOs. Neither is a real banger, but I think it's quite an intriguing matchup. And it's definitely a crossroads thing because, Gasayev's 29, Wallin's 32. The last 4 years, neither has really done anything. So to pick up a win over, a ranked guy, which would be, in this case, Wallin, would push Gasayev up the rankings. And a win over, a cruiserweight, the former cruiserweight champ, would be a good win for Otto Wallin. But I don't really see, I mean, I think it's a decent fight. The matchup's okay. Gasayev at cruiserweight was a threat. I mean, he knocked out Uriel Dorticos, 12th and final round, I think. He stopped Krzysztof Wlodarczyk, is that how you pronounce it? Wlodarczyk, Polish guy. He stopped him in 3 rounds. He won, I think it was a split decision against Denis Lebedev. So at cruiserweight, he was good. I mean, he was up there, but he needs a win over a legitimate heavyweight for anyone to pay any attention to him. And perhaps these two, Otto Wallin and Murat Gasayev, if they fight each other, the winner will perhaps move on to bigger and better things, because they've both got to do something. They've both got to pick up some names. The belts are tied up at the moment, as we know, and if you want to get up those rankings, there's only one way to do it, and that's to fight other contenders. So this is scheduled for September, this fight, and it's not, I don't think it's been signed yet, but it's on the verge of being signed, and perhaps that's one reason why Wallin wasn't interested in the AJ fight. He said he was. He insisted he was. Perhaps he genuinely was. But a win over Gasayev will at least be a decent name on his resume, and it's long overdue, really. So yeah, just thought I'd give you a little update on that heavyweight matchup that not a lot of people are paying too much attention to. But yeah, look out for it. I think it might be quite an interesting fight. You know, Gasayev likes to come forward. He's quite an aggressive fighter. Wallin likes to box. Neither has a heavyweight one-punch power, but they both hit stiffly enough to sort of keep each other cautious. So yeah, I think it'll be a good fight. Let's look out for this one. I hope it comes off anyway. I think it probably will. Anyway, what do you think about Wallin? What do you think about Gasayev? Gasayev says he's been injured, hence the reason he hasn't fought too often. Do you think he's got a future at heavyweight? I personally think he's too small. Wallin himself is not a gigantic heavyweight, but he is a natural heavy. Why is his career stalled? You know, why no opportunities? Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. And as always, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And hit the like button and spread the word about Joe's Son of Boxing. I'd appreciate it. Until then, I'll have a look at your comments and answer them. But until then, take care of yourselves. Bye for now.